Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So in today's video, I did want to speak about international travel. I want to speak about different things that you should know before traveling internationally, as well as things that you should be bringing with you when you are going on an international trip. So I know that right now we're in a global pandemic. To some people that may mean no travel, to some people that may mean YOLO. So we're going to be speaking about all of that in today's video. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts, with your comments, with your opinions, and all of that. Leave it down below, because I'll be chitting and chatting in the comments or whatever. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to speak about is the common misconception that traveling internationally is more expensive than traveling domestically. For me, someone who lives in the United States, your girl is from the Bronx, New York, okay, in case I don't know. A lot of people haven't traveled internationally or don't plan to, because they just automatically think and they believe the misconception that traveling internationally is more expensive than traveling within the States. And I'm here to let y'all know that I've been on some international trips that actually cost less when it comes to the flight, when it comes to housing, when it comes to spending money. That has been cheaper than trips that I've done within the United States. So if you are someone who still believes that misconception, who still, believes in that, I'm here to let you guys know that that is not true at all. Right now, with the global pandemic, things may be, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more cheaper, depending on where you're looking to go, where you're looking to stay. But I'm just speaking from my experience. So that is the first thing I wanted to say. If you are someone who believes in that, if that is your mindset, then I would highly recommend to let it go. Let it go, because most of the time that is not true. Okay, another thing is a lot of people don't travel internationally because they are afraid of the risk of things happening in other countries. Like, I am someone who, I don't know if it's just, it may just be me personally, but I don't really live in fear, because to me, I'm like, whenever God says it's my time, it's my time. Okay, so until then, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna enjoy myself, and when my creator calls me home, then that'll be my day. Okay, but until then, I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna have fun. So a lot of people don't travel internationally because people see like these things on social media or on the news of people being robbed, people being killed, and granted, that can happen anywhere. That can happen in your home, that can happen in your sleep, that can happen anywhere. So that is just a model I live by. So if you are looking to travel internationally, I would recommend to look at travel advisories from your country's embassy. So if you go online and you search like US travel advisory for whatever country you're looking to travel to, the US basically documents any situations that are occurring in foreign countries, so that before you travel, you have an idea of what it's looking like, and what is basically given, what's tea. So if you are someone who that is the reason why you don't or you haven't traveled internationally, then I would highly recommend to check that out, because listen, I just feel like life is not as scary as people make it seem, but maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my experiences, Jono say. The next thing is, right now, traveling internationally is, kind of sketchy. People are like, I don't want to travel, I don't want to leave the country. But honestly, a lot of places are safer than the United States right now, okay? A lot of countries do require, almost every country, I think besides Mexico, requires that you take a COVID test before you leave. And it's usually 72 or 48 hours before your time of departure. And I think that that is a very safe metric, because, living in the US right now with everything going on, being in high-risk states or states that were once high risk, or is it every state high risk? Question mark, who knows, okay? But the fact that a lot of countries, almost every country, is saying that you need to present negative results upon entry, to me makes me feel safer there, because granted, the country itself can have cases, but the fact that they're trying to regulate the virus coming into their country even more says more than a country like the United States, where it's just like, you want to come, all right, pull up. So yeah, so I would recommend, if you are skeptical about traveling internationally right now, you can go online, and I'll put the link down below for you to check to see what the cases in certain countries are looking like. A lot of countries right now are like, oh, you're from the US, LOL, you ain't coming in. But some countries is like, oh, show us that you don't have it and you could come in. So I do follow travel threads on Twitter, which I'll also link down below, and they basically announce like which countries people from the US are allowed to come into, which states they're accepting people from, because a lot of countries are like, okay, you're from a high risk state right now, forget about it, you ain't coming. So I'll go ahead and put that thread down below so you guys can reference. So if you are looking to take an international trip, then you can go ahead and check that out and figure out whether they're accepting people from your state, your country, or not. So those are just some tips that I have about getting over the fear of traveling internationally. I love to travel. I like to experience new cultures, new people, new things. So for me, traveling internationally is a must. I have done some trips within the US. The only place that I feel like I haven't been to that a lot of people be judging me for is Miami. I just feel like ain't nothing in Miami for me, but that's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'll make it there one day, maybe I won't, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. So the next thing that I want to go to are things that you must and should pack when you are traveling internationally. So the first thing is, and y'all might judge me for putting this on the list and including it in this video, but the first thing that you need when you travel internationally is a passport. And yes, I am including a passport because I uploaded a video not too long ago about what you need to know before you travel to Tulum, Mexico, and a few people actually DM me asking me if they needed a passport to go to Tulum, Mexico. And I'm not here to judge anybody, because I feel like I was talking to my friend and I was actually saying that it may be a Caribbean thing that people have passports before they become adults, because if you're from the Caribbean, you're going back home at least once a year, okay? So you need a passport. From the time that you're pushed out, the minimum age that you need a passport, your parents are going to make sure you have a passport, and from then they're going to make sure that you renew it each and every time that they tell you your passport expire. So a lot of people I find from the United States usually A, don't have a passport, B, never travel internationally, and if you don't have that guidance from your parents, then you don't really understand the significance and the value of a passport. So some people put it off until they're in their late 20s, early 30s even. So I didn't judge anybody from asking me this, but I didn't think that I needed to include it in my video or my blog post that I posted about Tulum, Mexico, because I'm like, that is common sense. But the first thing that you need when you're traveling internationally is a passport. Right now, I know that applying for a passport is kind of different right now because of everything happening with the pandemic. I think you have to schedule an appointment with postal services to do your application. A lot of places aren't really doing pictures because that requires you to take your mask off. And in New York, there is an order that you have to wear a face mask, a face covering, if you don't have the option to social distance. So, you know, applying for a passport is harder than usual right now, but it's not impossible. So if your passport expired, then I would highly recommend to do what you have to do to renew it. And if you don't have a passport, then sis, get on it, because even if you aren't planning to go anywhere, it's just nice to have, because God forbid an emergency ever comes up or whatever, you're good. You have your passport, you can go in other people's country and live your best life and do what you have to do, okay? The next thing that I feel like you need when you're traveling internationally is an outlet converter. So I have one from TJ Maxx. That's where I got mine from. It was under 10 bucks. And basically it allows me to convert the 2-prong and 3-prong US outlet piece to different countries. So when you go to different countries, it's always important to understand the voltage of appliances that their outlets can charge, because sometimes you may plug your device in and it might burn out because your device requires too much energy compared to the energy that their outlets give out. So one, I would recommend to always check the voltage that countries' outlets, countries' chargers uses, and two, the holes in the walls be looking different. And I remember, what was the first place I went? I think when I went to Thailand, I didn't check for it, and I'm like, these outlets look different than ours. So what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to plug this in? And luckily the Airbnb we were staying at did have converters for us, so I just like walking with my own because I don't want to have to depend on, you know, having to buy it there and it being 10 times more expensive. As I mentioned, I got mine from TJ Maxx. It was under $10. If you go to TJ Maxx and you look in the luggage section, they usually have a stand with accessories. So they'll have like packing cubes, outlet converters, and other things that you need, like the scale for your luggage, which I recommend too. If you are someone who tends to overpack like myself, then I would highly recommend to walk with a luggage scale as well. The next item that I recommend that you travel with if you're going international is Imodium. Y'all might be sitting here like, one, what's Imodium, or two, LOL. And yeah, Imodium is a must. When you go to other countries, your body is not accustomed to the water that runs in their faucet. So when you're brushing your teeth, or when you're eating ice cubes, or when you're eating food that's cooked with their tap water, your stomach may not have the best reaction. So in order to, you know, correct whatever's going on inside of our stomachs, walk with Imodium. I have the pills and I have the liquid version. So whenever my stomach is acting up, I'm like, okay, what you feeling, for a liquid or a pill? And that usually tames the diarrhea and gets my stomach back intact. So whenever you are going to other countries, I would recommend to use and walk with Imodium. Even when I'm outside the house, like during the day, during daily activities, I'll walk with my Imodium, because you never know when your stomach is about to start acting up, and I don't have time for my stomach to be embarrassing me in public. So I just walk with my Imodium and I call it a day, okay? And hand in hand with Imodium, the next thing that I recommend that you pack if you're traveling internationally, especially if you're traveling with like bae or friends that you're not too comfortable with yet, is Poopery. You guys may be like, what is Poopery? Poopery is basically well, I have the spray. I'm sure they carry other products. And basically what you do is you open the toilet, you spray the Poopery inside the toilet, and that way when you take a dump, when you do number two, when you release everything from the day, it does not smell as strong as it would have if you didn't use anything. So I would highly recommend. I actually use it like at home as well, just because sometimes, depending on what I eat, it may just be too much for even myself. So I would highly recommend to check out Poopery. They also sell it in TJ Maxx. So I don't know what the retail price for it is, but I always get it from TJ Maxx, because y'all know TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls be having things for the low, okay? So that is basically all I have for today's video. Hopefully this video helped you out with information if you are scared to travel internationally, if you don't know what to pack when you travel internationally, then hopefully this video helped you out. Comment down below with your thoughts, comments, questions, opinions, anything that's on your mind. Make sure you guys subscribe before you head out. Give this video a big thumbs up, and until my next video, which will be on Sunday, because your girl got a vlog for y'all, I'll see y'all later.